Hi everyone, it's Jill from Jilly Bean Studio. I hope you're well, and if you have some time today, grab your supplies. I would love if you journal with me. This is the grand finale for Junk Journal January. Many thanks to Meg at Meg Journals for these fun prompts and all the inspiration. I've really enjoyed the month. And today I am going to attach this accordion journal to the cover. So I hope you can gather whatever supplies you have, craft along, journal along, or just check this out if you've never done something like this. This is a drop paper cover, and what a drop paper is the backdrop to your art and craft work where the paint splashes over. And what I've done is save this process to the end because I wasn't sure how big the accordion journal would grow. It's about 1.5 inches wide, as you can see there. And I'm taking this piece of the drop paper and making, I'm going to call it a book jacket because it's not going to be completely bound to the book. With many accordion books, I think the way I've done it before is actually 2 panels on each end of the accordion book so that you can pull it out. But this time I'm going to do a book jacket. So what I'm doing right now is scoring in the middle of the drop paper page or sheet that I cut down. This is on watercolor paper, and I had estimated the size already. And what I want to do now is make a spine. Going over with the bone folder. And I'm going to do the other side so that I have a book spine. I do have to trim it a little. My measuring was slightly off, so I did that a moment ago off camera. And now I'm going to glue on the journal block of all these fun accordion pages. I have a piece of scrap paper. There it is on the left. And I'm going to glue that down only to the front cover. Inside front cover. So in this way, it is a bit of a jacket. It's not a full binding. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. That's the way I'm thinking about it. I'm using white glue. I think you can use any sort of white glue. This is a PVA glue, which is good for book binding, but you could water down a little white glue. Just make sure it's, I think, on the thin side. And speaking of thin, the piece of paper that I'm gluing to the front cover is on the thin side. So later in this video, you'll see I'm going to collage over it to secure everything down. All right, so I'm estimating that that's all going to flip and turn. I really enjoyed doing those pages. And then, yeah, it will pull out. I think this is going to be a good idea to keep the pages on the shelf in book form, and they're a little bit delicate, so I think it will sort of protect them. Oh yeah, and the cheesecloth I decided to put near the paper on the front cover, and I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so take 2. I had to adjust that paper. So I pulled it a little and readjusted because what I did was put it too close to the binding, the spine rather, not the binding. Goodness. The spine itself. In other words, you only want your text block or journal block of pages on the inside cover itself. Don't put it where you're folding the spine. So there we go. That was an adjustment. Okay, and there's that cheesecloth that I have blowing in the wind over there. But I wanted something a little, I don't know, to soften the front cover. So you'll get a close-up of that in a little while when I glue that in. I kind of just tucked it in for now under that front page. So a little more in the video you'll see on that. And now I am going to take all these really pretty bits and scraps from old music pages. This isn't wallpaper, but it's a pattern book that I had, an old book from a thrift store. And now I'm going to collage the inside cover. So you'll see I'm going over on the front cover on the left-hand side with the music paper. And I want to make this much more secure because that first bit of paper that I put down to glue the journal block was pretty thin. And now I want to layer in a pretty inside cover and secure all those fun journal pages in. All right, so that's my process. How are you doing? How is your journaling going? I can't believe it has now turned the calendar to February. I am finishing this up the first week of February. I did like the idea of waiting to see how chunky and chubby this accordion journal would be and do the cover at the end. So that's a tip. If you have a journal that is an accordion journal, I'm not sure another style that might grow like that, but any sort of journal that you're building across the period of time that you're doing, I think it's a good tip to do your cover at the very end. All right, and here we go. This is what I mean. I tucked in just at the end there a bit of cheesecloth. It's very inexpensive. I think I got mine at Joann's craft store a while ago. I think it's going to just soften that edge there of the front cover. And I decided not to round my corners. Sometimes I do with a corner rounder or punch. There we go. Pulling out that cheesecloth a little. I don't know. It's a little touch, but I think it's sweet and I like that. All right, the first layer of collage is down on the inside covers. So again, really what you're seeing in the middle of this spread is actually the front cover. And the journal pages on the left have now been hinged in, so to speak, with that first piece of paper. And I'm going to add a few more pretty pattern papers and also the last prompt. So I hope you're staying warm and cozy. I know I've said in my January videos, I live in New England and the weather has been wild and chilly and cold. We're in for a little bit of ice coming our way. And I've just been enjoying these warm journal sessions where I can collage, enjoy these really fun prompts. I hope if you've participated that you've enjoyed yourself. I would love to know your junk journal January experience. I popped over to Instagram a few times and it was just so much fun to see what everyone else was doing and get more ideas and tips and techniques. So I've enjoyed it a lot. And for February, I am finishing up a little accordion book that I started also at the beginning of the month. I've been playing with that. So that will be some fun too. All right, and this is the prompt thankful, which is prompt number 31. So for this one, I decided to keep it really simple. This is a junk mail envelope. Love those with the little windows. And I decided to do some simple hand lettering and a little bit of documenting and journaling. Reflection on the whole experience. And one of the things that I love about journaling, and I say this many times, is the the freedom to experiment and explore. And I love that about the journal community. Everybody sharing their ideas and their pages. So when I reflect on this last journal prompt, that's really what I'm writing about. I did a little measuring so that the word thankful, oops, there we go, sorry. The word thankful will fit inside and be seen through the window envelope. And I'm going in with a brush pen. I like to do a bit of faux calligraphy or cursive. I go write it out the first time, and then the second time I go back and thicken up the downstrokes usually. All right. So I hope that you have enjoyed your January 2022 journaling. I am considering what February looks like. I have another junk journal in mind, and that little accordion book I'll show you at the end. I've been working on a background. The little accordion book is more, I was putting in like words for the year and some quotes and inspirational things. So that's a journal in progress, or a little book in progress. I was just really enjoying the accordion form and wanted to play more. And that cover also will have more of the panel cover. So I'd love to share more of that in an upcoming video. And I'm also working in my Hobonichi Day Free, which is my other creative journal, and I continue to do a week in review across the week. I add bits and pieces, and I really am enjoying that. So that's a definite for 2022. So how is your journaling going, and what are you working in 2022? Are you an art journaler? Do you enjoy junk journaling? I find that I always have at least 2 journals going, and have really enjoyed that as part of my journal experimentation and and process. Now what I'm doing is simply putting glue along the edges. That way, if I'd like, it's almost, it makes a double pocket if I want to tuck something else even behind this. Okay, I think we're just going to make sure this all works. Folds in, the whole journal block fits. There's all the different views. I will say this drop paper cover was done on watercolor paper that I had, and it's definitely a stiff cover, so I think I'm going to need something to keep it closed. I'm considering like string or a piece of twine that I'll use as a closure. Yeah, there it is. So many fun memories over the month. Love that. So again, Junk Journal January. I hope you enjoyed the process if you participated. I really appreciate Meg at Meg Journals and all the fun from the journal community that everybody shared. Okay, here we go with the closure. I ended up deciding on twine because as I look through my stash, that's what I had. This is a rather thick piece. I doubled it up, and I'm gonna do a simple slip knot where you just tuck it in, wrap it around. Nothing fancy. A bow. All right. I think that's going to be fun. And now all of those pages, which I think were a little bit delicate, will now be all in a nice book jacket and able to join my other journals on the shelf. Oh, here's a side view. So it does stand up nice and sturdy. And an open view, and then from this side with the cheesecloth. Thank you so much to all subscribers. I really appreciate you. Here's a little bit more coming up on my channel. I'm going to do that accordion book in the backgrounds. And thank you to everyone for stopping by my channel. I really appreciate you watching.